Be phenomenal or be forgotten. And that is the quote of the day. Welcome back to the Quote of the Day show. I'm your host, Sean Croxton of SeanCroxton.com. Today's episode, of course, is brought to you by the Jerf Bar. Learn more about our organic, gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, GMO-free, vegan, kosher, real food bars over at jerfbar.com. I created them myself. I did it myself, and now they're here. It's pretty cool. But today, it's Monday, so let's get fired up. Let's get motivated. We've got Dr. Eric Thomas on the show, also known as E.T., the hip-hop preacher. And whenever I hear Dr. Thomas speak, I cannot help but get energized. I can't help but get excited. You can probably tell I just listened to this clip before I came on the air here. And, what he's talking about today is motivation. And while you're listening to this story, I want you to really be thinking about, where does your motivation come from? Does your motivation always have to come from the outside? Does somebody always have to be pushing and prodding you to get something done? Or does your motivation come from within? Do you just get it done anyway because that's who you are? Here's Dr. Thomas.
All right, so you've all heard this story. All right, I'll end with this story. You always heard this story. All right, so it says every day in Africa, in the safari, a lion wakes up. Every single day in the safari, a lion wakes up. Right? And every single day in the safari, a gazelle wakes up. I love it. I love it. It says, though, here's what's funny. It says that if you wake up and you're a gazelle, you realize if you're going to survive as a gazelle, if you're going to survive, you must outrun the slowest gazelle. Right? In your mind, you're thinking you got to outrun the fastest lion. That's not the truth. You just got to stay ahead of the slow gazelle. That's it. That's it. Because you're going to catch that gazelle because you're all the way up front. Right? So every single day when you wake up, whatever it is that you do professionally, you better make sure you're not in the back of the pack. You better be as close to the front, if not up front, as possible, because every single day when the lion wakes up, it's only one thing on that lion's mind, and that is catching the gazelle that couldn't keep up. Now, this is critical. This is not just a story. This is critical because what the gazelle realizes is that the way it operates, that the way it performs, that the way it goes about its daily business is contingent upon life and death. That if that gazelle does not do what he or she is supposed to do, it will be eaten by a lion. But I love it. The story says that even if you are a lion and you have the advantage, that when the sun comes up, if you're a gazelle or a lion, you better get to running. Because if you are a lion, a gazelle is still not going to come to you and say, just eat me. No, you better hear what I'm saying, because there's those of you in this room, you're past the mark that Glenn is talking about, because somewhere in your mind, you're thinking they're not talking to me, they're talking to somebody else. And no, you have to understand, I don't care how deep you are as a lion. When you wake up, nothing is going to come to you. Nobody's going to give you anything. They're still not giving stuff to E.T. I still have to work. I still have to fly 20 hours to get to Australia. I still have to go to London. I still have to do free stuff in Detroit. I still have to drive. I'm a lion. And when the sun comes up, I still have to get to running. Here's the challenge, though. I asked myself when I read that story, that's what's on the surface. I read it and I started asking myself, E.T., what's the difference between a gazelle and what's the difference between a lion? What's the difference? I know that they're wired differently, but what's the difference? And what I discovered is that the gazelle is running from something. The gazelle is running from something. So as long as the lion is chasing the gazelle is running. But as soon as the lion stops chasing the gazelle, it stops. And that's a lot of you in this room. That's a lot of you in this room. You will run. You'll do what you're supposed to do. As long as you're getting pushed, as long as you're getting motivated, as long as somebody is encouraging you, as long as somebody's coaching you, as long as somebody's pushing you, as long as somebody's prodding you, you're doing what you're supposed to do. As long as somebody's calling you, as long as someone is enticing you, as long as somebody's giving you rewards, you're moving. But as soon as that stops, you stop. I asked myself the question about the lion, and I said the lion is not running to be rewarded. The lion is running to eat. Every single day, the lion is running to eat because the lion realizes when he kills the gazelle, not only does he eat the gazelle, but he brings it back home. So you've got to ask yourself, I leave you. You've got to ask yourself, what's your why? What motivates you? What pushes you? What drives you? And if that thing is internal, if nobody has to call you, if nobody has to prod you, if nobody has to reward you, if nobody has to give you anything, if you are self-motivated and self-regulated, you can have it, you can be it, you can do it. But you got to do me a huge favor. There's nothing average about the lion. There's nothing good about the lion. The lion is phenomenal. So do me a favor, guys. Be phenomenal or be forgotten.